I need you to stand tall for peace and unity. Peace and unity. I'm gonna I ain't never get up I can check after this. Talk. Let's check.
Welcome back, and now we start the program in earnest, and we're going to be looking at the attack on the caliphate. The violence in Nigeria got to its peak on Monday with the attack on the northern seat of power, which is Sokoto State. The Boko Haram claimed responsibility for the attack and warned that any informants will be dealt with, and those pretending to be Muslims and who engage in assisting security agencies will also be dealt with. It's also pertinent to add that the vice president's residence was also attacked. That was in Kaduna State. We are expecting a number of guests to look at this with us this morning, but in light of the traffic which we have spoken about earlier, we only have one of them in the studio, and I'd like to welcome Mr. Wilson Isangbedu, who's a security expert.
Thank you, ma'am.
We also expect Mr. Layin Kasani, a security expert, Mr. Ladi Thompson, an anti-terrorism expert, as well as Mr. Innocent Chukwu. But we have Mr. Isangbedu with us, so we just have to make do with what we have. Mr. Isangbedu, what was your reaction when that attack took place in Sokoto?
Personally, I felt bad because of the targets involved. They targeted the office of the Assistant Inspector General of Police. I think that attack was deliberate. I think it was to drive home a message that even those that are supposed to protect us cannot protect themselves. That was the message I personally believe that they were trying to also drive. It's also instrumental.
Well, that's a scary conclusion right there.
Yes, I said yes. That is one. And the other thing too, basically, before now we all had the impression that Sokoto was insulated from all the attacks, because we all believed that they all had respect for the Sultan of Sokoto. Mm-hmm. And even if they attack every other state, they will not go near Sokoto. So what they've done actually is they've done something which was really unexpected. But don't forget, on Saturday, I think on Thursday before the event, some of their members were arrested. And on Saturday, they came out with a threat that what happened in Kano will be a child's play, that it will happen in Sokoto. So it's not as if there was no warning. There was warning. The government knew something would happen. But I think part of the problem is the ability of the government to manage the information that they get. It's possible the information was really not accurate. Mm-hmm. But what I actually expected, I expected the authorities to beef up security around all the government establishments. It's really a pity that the office of the Inspector General of Police was attacked. I saw the pictures of the attack, and the police headquarters was destroyed.
Is it possible to beef up security in all government establishments in all states of the country?
But right now the emphasis is really on the north as of now. Mm-hmm. So what I actually expect, like the police, I expect them to give an order to all the commands that they have a responsibility to defend their commands. Okay, like something has happened in Sokoto, the office of the Assistant Inspector General of Police has been destroyed, as it were. Now, what has the police done? Are they going to allow? Are they going to allow that to happen without any person being given a query? Because what I'm trying to say basically, things like this should not be allowed to happen anymore. I know the IG came out and warned the DPO that they must defend their police stations. I would like a situation whereby he will come out and give a marching order, because I mean, if it has happened in Kano, the office of the Assistant Inspector General of Police was attacked in Kano. So that means
Abuja?
Yes, it has happened. Virtually everywhere. So they have a responsibility. of drawing up a strategy to protect their command first, before they can protect the populace.
Now, let me find out from you. Is this an issue of the police not being as efficient as one would expect, or there is a dire need for clear understanding of what is called gathering of intelligence, being able to analyze it, and then being able to follow it up with tracking that means you're able to nip attacks in the bud? Because I have a feeling it's a case of they just don't have that intelligence. Because if they have it, the police will go out and nip it in the bud. But if they don't have it, they can't do what...
I believe the authority charged with gathering intelligence, the SSS, they are doing the best that they can. But one thing is to gather intelligence. Another thing is for those that will carry out the action to operate in accordance with their script. The script can change anytime. So whatever information you gather, if you want to now prevent the action from happening, it's a different ball game, really. But again, looking at what happened in Sokoto, like if you go around, discover that a lot of organizations are evolving strategies to ensure that suicide bombers will no longer have access to their premises. At least I expected that to have happened. I mean, for a situation whereby a suicide bomber would drive and be able to have access to that kind of place they had access to, I think they really need to look at what they have put in place again. Not only Sokoto, I mean all over the north, because things like that should not be allowed to happen anymore.
But to be honest, it
affects the confidence of the populace.
Okay, would you say that intelligence gathered by the SSS is good enough? Because with the spate of attack that we've had earlier in the year, just a few months ago, even the SSS office was attacked by Boko Haram. They carried guns. They were brave enough to carry guns and go attack the SSS office. They were just unfortunate. They were unlucky. It wasn't a case of, oh yeah, we've got intelligence, we knew they were coming, so we've got some ammunitions, we've got this, we've got that.
We were ready and waiting for them.
No, they were not. Let's not forget something. Whatever information they gather has to come from somewhere.
Yes.
Where does it come from? It comes from you and I. So that's the problem. We're not doing enough as a people. If you go to the north, you discover that those in the north, they know who the members are. But the Boko Haram are operating like a mafia. If you talk, we'll kill your father. If you talk, we'll kill your mother. If you talk, we'll kill your children. And most of those people that are using as suicide bombers are people that, apart from the fact that some of them actually believe in that cause, some of them are being intimidated in doing what they are doing.
Into doing it?
Yes. And what they do, they'll just give them like 7,500. I say, go and do this. If you don't do it, we know your father, we know your mother, we know your children, we know your family members. I mean, that's something the government of the day has to address.
Some people are saying that this might have something to do with the recent appointment of the security advisor, he himself being a member of the royal family
the fact that the present NSA
is it just idle talk?
Is from Sokoto. I also know too that he's been going around trying to negotiate with. He's trying to talk to the elders in the north that they should be doing more than they are doing now. And I think in that regard, he's done well. But my advice to you basically is he should try and talk less, and act more.
But you don't think it has anything to do with that?
What has happened basically is the fact that they went to Sokoto. It's like they have a message for him. That's what
so it does have to do with him.
I believe there's a message.
It's not idle talk then.
It's not. There's a message for him.
And the whole idea of attacking police installations, I think that also has a message, don't you?
The message there
and I think the message is to Nigeria.
The message there is these are the people constitutionally empowered to protect you. If we can go after them and kill them, We are trying to drive a message to you that you don't have any person
Nobody is
protecting
safe.
you. Nobody is safe. That's the message. And I also believe too, they also want the world to know that they are in charge of the North, that they can attack any part of the North. And for those of us in the South, we should not just believe that they will never come to the South, because they've already gotten to Kogi State. From Kogi to Edo is not far. From Edo to Lagos is not far. And let's not also forget something, that the instruments of terror are already in our midst. All they need to do is just to pull the strings and it will happen. They don't need to bring people from the North to make that happen. Those that are living here in the South, they have their families there in the North. So all they need to do is to intimidate them and give them some money and things will happen.